You are not truly free until you are economically free. And nothing can be more empowering than when you know exactly what to do whenever you need money. You see, absence of cash is not a real problem. But knowing exactly how to create the rainfall is the missing link. A lot of so-called entrepreneurs build their business or businesses around themselves. So they are really the business. If they go on casual leave, the business goes on casual leave. If they go on maternity leave, the business goes on maternity leave. That's not a business, that's a trade. As long as the business revolves around you, that business can never scale. That business can never outlive you. So structure, systems, those are the key things. And what makes up a system ultimately? Most times we set goals, but we don't develop the habit that support the realization of those goals. Your behavior is responsible for where you are. And until that changes, nothing else changes. So the biggest problem really is about the becoming. But to become a superior version of yourself, you have to pay attention to 3 critical things. Number 1, any goal you set that has no consequence for action or inaction, that goal will never come to fruition. So in determining how much money you really want to make, you must clearly define what will go wrong if I don't achieve this, and what will go right if I achieve this. You see, you don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. It doesn't take money to set up structure. It takes structure to make the money. And that's the missing link. For example, you see, you don't start a business to qualify as an entrepreneur. You become an entrepreneur to start a business.
Say that again.
You don't start a business to qualify as an entrepreneur. So the fact that you have a registered company and you have an office is not proof that you're an entrepreneur. You have to become an entrepreneur to start a successful business. If they strip you of everything material and you feel worthless, you were not wealthy in the first instance. The litmus test, something has changed inside of you, is that even when there's no material substance, that's not what defines you.
Wow.
What truly defines you as a person is not what you own, is what owns you.
Break it down.
Real wealth is inside out. Once a figure is mentioned and you cringe, you are not ready for it.
You're not ready.
Once you are uncomfortable with certain numbers,
Yes.
you can't interact with it mentally, emotionally. You can't feel like it is already here.
It's already here.
You are not ready for it yet. That's why some type of money, if it hits some people's account, they will lose sleep.
Now, you see, in all this that you said, you see, most people, they work very hard. They earn income, like you said. Every day, they toil back and forth, but still, they find it difficult to attain that financial freedom. What do you think they are missing for someone to get to that level?
Fundamental. Let me say something.
Millions of hardworking people earn income every month, yet remain broke for decades. Some even become richer as they earn less, while others become poorer as they earn more. What are they missing? My guest today is a business strategist, wealth creation expert, best-selling author, and the CEO of LIFEPAGE in Nigeria and the United States. And today, we'll be unpacking the principles, decisions, and mindset that can transform the way you think about money, business, and long-term wealth that will help you achieve true financial freedom. Welcome to Selahmeditate podcast, the platform for highly intellectual conversations on money, power, and the systems that shape your life. I remain your very host, Benzik. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button. And if you have been a regular viewer here, also hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with many who will find this valuable. So more welcome, my highly transformative guest, wealth creation expert.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doctor.
Thank you.
Clement Oladipupo.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you today.
So delighted to be here as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, you champion financial freedom a lot. Someone may be watching you now and said, why should I pay attention to what you have to say in the next 1 or 2 hours regarding finances? And what should they miss if they don't pay attention to you?
Well, there are 3 critical areas of our lives that is one of the areas where most people are, having big challenge across the globe.
Okay.
One of them is spiritual problems. It's the reason why people flood religious centers, all of that across the globe. Number 2 is relational problems.
Okay.
Right? Whether you are not gotten married or you are getting married, this is one of those areas. And then the last one, or the third one, is financial problems. And it's a common denominator all over the world. Everywhere you go around the world, you find poor people. You also find rich people, and the gaps seem to be getting wider and wider. And truth be told, when someone is poor, they are short of options. Wealth gives you options.
Yeah.
You are not truly free until you are economically free. And nothing can be more empowering than when you know exactly what to do whenever you need money. You see, absence of cash is not a real problem. Or knowing exactly how to create the rainfall is the missing link. And not many people know that. So you can be in the land flowing with milk and honey and yet still be
poor.
Be broke. All right. So people should pay attention, because you are where you are because of who you are. And you are who you are because of also where you are. Your environment shapes you. You also shape your environment. And that's why that's so critical. And until you change, nothing else changes.
Now, you champion, like I said, you champion financial freedom. To you, how do you describe financial freedom? If somebody is thinking about it, what does it actually mean?
All right. So in my book, this is one of the books that people should get by all means.
Financial Freedom Master
Guide.
Okay.
So in this book, I documented 5 levels in your journey to financial freedom. At the very base of that pyramid, you find people who could be in financial crisis. Financial crisis describes people who don't make money at all. You see, each and every one of us are gifted spenders. None of us require training, schooling, mentoring, coaching to spend. We're all talented spenders.
Yes.
And so when someone is not making money but spending money, because that's the natural course of life, where the person would end up being would be financial crisis. And so I often say that there are 3 possibilities when someone is not making money. Number 1, they start begging for money. When they run out of people to beg from, they start borrowing money. When they run out of people to borrow from, then they start cutting corners and scamming people and defrauding people. And none of these 3 options are honorable, but the third one will land you in jail. And so that is the first level. But again, even in financial crisis, there is a small fraction of people that could also be in financial crisis. These are categories of people who have, to an extent, built a portfolio of fixed assets, but those assets are either low on cash flow or have no cash flow at all. So somebody could be worth $1 million in assets, but cannot afford $5,000 in cash. That can also put somebody in financial crisis.
You have $1 million in assets, but can't afford $5,000 in cash.
And this is the reason why somebody can be forced to sell off very valuable assets because they are low or have no cash flow.
No, I get.
So that can also put someone in financial crisis. But they are just a fraction of the people who are generally in financial crisis. The second level in that pyramid is those who are in financial instability. Financial instability describes a group of people who stay home, don't take them home. And they also form the large chunk of people in the economic ecosystem. And a lot of people are not just unemployed, a lot of people are underemployed. So they have many months before the salary even comes. And there is a particular research report that 75% of Nigerians earn less than 100,000 naira a month.
75%?
Yes.
Less than 100,000?
100,000 naira
a month.
To be honest with you, till now, I still can't explain how someone can survive on that. But that's the reality of a lot of people. And some people who earn this much or even earn less have kids, have dependents and all of that. So you can understand the level of frustration in town. The challenge, though, is that these people generally tend to blame it on somebody else. And until you take full personal responsibility, nothing changes. All right. So the third level is financial stability. Financial stability describes people who maintain a degree of financial equilibrium. So they're fairly comfortable, their take-home takes them home, and they live in nice neighborhood, their children go to nice schools. And because of the level of value they bring to the market, they earn certain sizable and reasonable level of income. The challenge with this category of people, though, is that their lifestyle is premised on their continued active source of income. So as long as they maintain their job, right, they will still be able to maintain their lifestyle. But should they lose that job, they are back to financial instability or financial crisis. Now, I'm bringing this, breaking it down because you will not understand financial freedom if you don't understand this.
Yeah.
So that's financial stability. And these are the category of people we call rich. They only look rich, but they are not truly rich. And the litmus test for whether or not you are beyond financially stable is how long can you survive if you stop working.
Oh, interesting.
The fourth level, is financial independence. The financial independence is that point in a person's life where the proceeds from his or her investment is capable of meeting their personal and family needs without having to work another day. So, if as a financially stable person you earn $100,000, I'm using dollars because it's universal currency, so to speak. So, if you earn $100,000 every single year, and you stop working, and you've been able to build portfolio of assets that is cash flowing, and that can give you the same $100,000 every single year, then you can be regarded as financially independent. Now, that's still not the ultimate, but still a better place than a lot of places, other levels I've mentioned. The ultimate really is financial freedom, and that's the ultimate. So financial freedom, which is really the question you asked.
Yes.
Financial freedom is that point in a person's life where the proceeds from his assets or investment is not just capable of meeting his family, his personal and family needs alone, but it's also able to extend goodness and kindness to others. So you are not depleting your capital. From the proceeds, you are still able to extend goodness and kindness to
effortlessly.
And you can sustain that even long after you are gone. So that is true financial freedom. Because you see, the ultimate plan of God for our lives is not to bless us. The ultimate plan of God for our lives is to make us a blessing. Your greatest source of fulfillment will not be derived from what you accumulate. It will come from what you contribute and donate. So that's why you find people who are already at the peak of their career, peak of success, and yet you are wondering, what are they still laboring for? Right?
Yeah.
They are no longer laboring for what to eat. Their greatest source of fulfillment is the impact, the difference they make. And you don't even need to attain that level before you begin.
Wow.
You can actually start from where you are right now, making little contributions wherever you are right now.
Now, you see, in all this that you said, most people, they work very hard. They earn income, like you said. Every day they toil back and forth, but still they find it difficult to attain that financial freedom. What do you think they are missing for someone to get to that level?
Fundamental. So this pyramid I just described, there's what each person in that level, in each level, must do. So let me break that down, because it describes exactly what someone who is hardworking, because really Nigerians all over the world, we are gritty, we are dutiful, we are dedicated people, we are very hardworking people, but there's a misalignment, and I'm going to break that down. So for someone who is in financial crisis or financial instability, what such a person needs is aggressive mental evolution.
Mental evolution.
You see, who you are is responsible for where you are. I said that earlier. And for the level of success, financial success you want to attain, you have to answer a very important question. Who must I become to achieve it? You see, most times we set goals, but we don't develop the habit that support the realization of those goals. So your behavior is responsible for where you are. And until that changes, nothing else changes. So the biggest problem really is about the becoming. And that's the biggest challenge that people have. And it comes from you become a superior version. You need to become a superior version of yourself. But to become a superior version of yourself, you have to pay attention to three critical things. Number one, the books you read, the company you keep, as well as the environment you put yourself in. I've been up and down Lagos in the past couple of weeks. And I've been out of the country for a while and recently came back. And I have observed that nothing really has changed within the environment.
Yeah.
And one thing that I find to be responsible for that is the people.
The people.
Yes. We
Why?
are still the same. We want better life, but we are not becoming better people.
How do we become better people?
Exactly. That's what I just mentioned. For example, I was sharing with my team, before we got here, and I said to them, I think having a better president, another president, will not change Nigeria. It will not. One person whose head is correct can't fix the head of 200 million people who is not correct. Now, by the way, I don't mean any disrespect. I'm simply saying that we need a revamp. Okay, we went somewhere and there was double parking on that road. You find some government, elected government officials, even make the attempt to fix our roads. But the same citizens will go and damage the road because they want to sell market.
Now, where I differ a little bit is when you say go and good service cannot change others, is that it's like business. If you, in your organization, as the head of your organization, it's the culture you build that the company follows, your team follows, your staff follows. If the top is corrupt, that culture passes down to the people. So if you said that one person being good cannot change others, then it means that someone operating a business cannot be able to impact good culture to the staff that can transform that company. It's not possible.
So let me tell you the truth.
Yes.
Ask anyone who is running business. One of their greatest problems is people. Why? Because no business is isolated from the environment in which they're operating. And most schools really do not prepare people adequately for the marketplace. So we do a lot of retraining, and that's exactly what such a leader will still need to do.
Yes.
We will still need to do retraining, reprogramming, because it's impacting the same culture you just described. For God's sake, if somebody went to a driving school, a proper driving school, and they were tested before they were issued a driver's license, you won't find such a thing in some parts of the world. And the reason is not because they are better. It is simply because there are consequences for living that way.
That is exactly where leadership comes in.
Good.
That leadership is supposed to create the consequence.
But one person
Yes.
can't fix all that, because that one person, it cannot be everywhere at the same time.
Every change starts with one person. And once you create a rule and consequence for everything that needs to happen,
Yes.
in a company, you create a rule, consequence, culture. If anybody goes above or beyond that or breaks that particular code, there's a consequence for it. So it aligns people automatically.
Do you realize that?
Yes.
We put all these things in place, but the person who is supposed to police other people also requires policing, and the person needs policing, another person needs policing. It's a foundational problem, and it is complex, and it's not something that one person can fix in 4 months. If you have been this way for 50 years, my encounter with you or your encounter with me in 4 years won't fix you. Fundamentally, people's character is already formed from the age of 12. How they will be, how they continue to behave the rest of their life is already established by the time they were already 12. And so the consequences part of things is why some environments, some polities, some locations, some countries appear to be working. For example, if you fix CCTV in certain places, the people you install the CCTV to protect are the ones that will...
I will go and blind it.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
How do you fix that? So you say, oh, those things are not fixed. And then you hire someone or you appoint someone to get that done. That person also needs somebody to be hired to monitor that person. It's a lot of work, and that cannot be done overnight. That's why we still need to go back to our school system. So it has to be education, civic education, proper civic education. But back to the subject of really being able to create wealth.
Yes.
It starts from the mind. Wealth is not created outside in. It's created inside out. Do you get? So
inside out.
it's inside out.
Okay.
Let me say something. If they strip you of everything material and you feel worthless, you were not wealthy in the first instance. The litmus test that you have, something has changed inside of you, is that even when there's no material substance, that's not what defines you.
Wow.
What truly defines you as a person is not what you own, is what owns you.
Break it down.
What truly defines you. So a lot of people's identity is tied to their car, their house, their marital status, how many kids, where they live, how often they travel. That's what their identity is tied to. And it's a faulty foundation to build your life on. That's why when you are stripped of those things, you feel a high loss of self-worth. Right? So, and that's the problem of our country. That's the problem of most people around the world. So we judge a book mostly by its cover. We don't judge it by content. So I have interacted with multi-millionaires, multi-millionaires in dollars, and you see them on just ordinary t-shirts in America, in the United Kingdom, across the globe. But you come to Nigeria, if you are not wearing Barbariga, wearing proper suits, right? I actually dress for this occasion because I know the people we are speaking to.
Yes.
My real self, I just want to wear my sneakers and just... But people judge you by how you are. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with looking good. But I'm simply saying that your identity should not be tied to what you own. It should primarily be built on who you are.
It comes down to that culture we're talking about.
Exactly. And whose you are. When you know what you're capable of bringing, what value you are capable of bringing. If we judge people based on that, if we judge people based on what value can they bring, we treat people fairly, we treat people well, So that's pretty much the foundation.
Now, you see, there are many entrepreneurs. They build a successful business. Now, you can see that they are making income day by day, or monthly, or yearly. They're making income, but they struggle to build durable wealth where that is much durable. What do you think they are missing?
So first is any company that lacks structure. In fact, it's not just about a company, because to even have a successful company, you have to become a successful person yourself. You have to become, you don't start a business to qualify as an entrepreneur. You become an entrepreneur to start a business.
Say that again.
You don't start a business to qualify as an entrepreneur. So the fact that you have a registered company and you have an office is not proof that you're an entrepreneur. You have to become an entrepreneur to start a successful business.
Wow.
And some of the fundamentals of really running a business, we don't pay attention to them. And I'm going to touch on some of them if time permits us. But let me say that one of the major reasons is lack of structure. A lot of so-called entrepreneurs build their business or businesses around themselves. So they are really the business. Right? If they go on casual leave, the business goes on casual leave. If they go on maternity leave, the business goes on maternity leave. That's not a business, that's a trade. As long as the business revolves around you, that business can never scale. That business can never outlive you. So structure, systems, those are the key things. And what makes up a system ultimately is a structure plus culture. Anybody can copy our structure, but not everybody can copy our culture, because it takes time to build culture.
Takes time to build culture.
Yes.
Break it further.
So let me explain this way. When it comes to culture, we were talking earlier about the role of a leader and all of that. For someone whose ways has been set a particular way for 40 years, for 50 years, that person to adopt new culture will be a tall order. And that's where you need to set up trainings. You need to have policy handbooks, staff handbooks. You need to have standard operating procedures. This will ensure that when someone goes on leave, nothing fails. When somebody resigns, somebody else can, when somebody retires, somebody else is already on ground, and it usually starts with you as the entrepreneur.
Yes.
The business starts with you. You conceive the vision. So the vision starts with you, but it takes much more than you to grow the business. So you need more than yourself to grow the business. So you have to put certain structures in place. And I'm not saying it's a very easy thing, but we've been able to implement some of these things. To be interested to know that over the last 2 years or so, 2 years and a few months, I've not been in Nigeria.
And business is going.
The truth of the matter is the business was even doing better than when I was physically on ground.
Now, you see, the challenge now is growing entrepreneurs. Let's say a new entrepreneur that is just starting up a business cannot be able to say, oh, set up structure, build team, build that, build this, because all this thing takes money, takes finance to set up. So a young entrepreneur that is thinking of starting up a business and is saying, oh, you say set up structure, set up system, what should the person be thinking about if the person is saying, okay, I'm just starting and I need to grow funds to be able to build up this business?
You see, you don't grow big to manage well. You manage well to grow big. It doesn't take money to set up structure. It takes structure to make the money.
Oh.
And that's the missing link. For example, I co-authored this book. I wrote this book. It didn't cost money to write the book. It cost money to print the book.
Wow.
And that's the missing link. And we are not saying create the structure and fill it up immediately. We, at the point our business started, we didn't have a dime to our name. We started the business with a 3-in-1 DexJet printer, a laptop I'd been using 5 years prior, and a shared office that we couldn't afford to pay for. That was where we started from.
Wow.
But we had a vision that we were not going to build a business that will revolve entirely around us, that we were going to build this business on systems. And so we started learning, we started implementing, and then we retweak. Again, it is what is even existing that you can continue to improve upon. If it was not in existence, it would be tough to update, to upgrade. You use a phone.
Yes.
That phone from time to time comes with updates.
Yes.
So it can enhance its performance, and functionality. It's the same thing with a business. So we will continue to update. There came a point in our business where the SOPs, the standard operating procedures we set up in the very beginning, could not take us to the next level. So we were always upgrading and updating and updating. So sometimes we bring in consultants. Even though I'm a management consultant and a business coach myself, we still have to engage the services of, professionals to come help us with some of these things. We bring in tax consultant. Our CFO is a tax specialist. He's a chartered accountant, fellow of the chartered accountant of Nigeria. But we still have to engage the services of others, other professionals to help make sure that it is standardized. So, but the level of income you want to see in your business and the level of growth you want to see in your business will not, cannot happen at the level of structure you're currently running.
You mentioned you don't become an entrepreneur because you have a business. You have a business before you become an entrepreneur, something like that. Someone is new and wants to jump into the entrepreneurship field. What are the top 5 things the person should be looking at?
Fantastic. Number 1, business is not something you want to do because you are interested. That is just an interest, it's a hobby. It has to be solving critical problems. That's the first thing. You want to make sure that the problem, and there are 3 markets that nobody should ignore if you want to start a business. 3 markets. One is the wealth market. This market helps people to make money, manage money, multiply money, protect money, insure money and all of that. That's pretty much about the market. And whether it is banking, real estate, insurance, stockbroking, funds management, money market, anything that is helping people make, manage, multiply their money and protect that money is in the wealth market. You want to consider, because it's an evergreen market. So in order for you to do a business, or rather you want to look at doing a business and you are not paying attention to these markets, you will struggle, because you are not doing this business and your customers are members of your family. members of your target customers are not necessarily members of your family. So and people are selfish to themselves. So if it's not solving critical problems in their lives, they are not going to patronize you. So wealth market. The second one is a health market. Essentially, it is the preventive aspect of the health market and the curative aspect of the health market that you want to pay attention to, whether it's pharmacy, diagnostic centers. So I also advise people who want to even invest money to pay attention to this market, right? It's not just you want to do business, but even if you have money to invest, pay attention to this market. So the health market is an evergreen market because really health is much more than wealth. You don't know the value of health until you lack it.
True.
The third one is relationship market. So there's a rising case of depression, mental health crisis, emotional instability, and all of those things across the globe. And so it's impacting significantly on our relationships, family, and all of those things. So if you are playing that space as a therapist, as a counselor, clinical psychologist, and all of those things, there is massive market. We have not yet come to appreciating the value of that market in Africa. And so when people have emotional problems, mental problems, family problems, they are going for deliverance. While there's nothing wrong with deliverance, most people are really going for deliverance should actually go for therapy. But we don't place value on that. But in the developed world, they don't joke with such things. You book sessions and all of that. So those are markets that if you want to start a business, you want to ask yourself, which market exactly are you playing in? And what specific problem are you really going to be solving for people? The second thing that I would recommend for an entrepreneur to consider is this is to recognize that business is about people.
Business is about people.
Yes.
Okay.
You are not in the business of real estate. You are not in the business of you are not in food business. You are actually in the business of people, right?
People.
You are in the business of people. So people must be at the center of everything you do. People who do business with, people who buy from you, people who sell with you.
Yeah.
You want to pay attention to those two. So people is at the fabric. And the kind of people you should pay attention to also, especially on the side of those who buy from you, are consumers and customers. A lot of times we confuse the two. They are not exactly the same. A customer can be the consumer, but a consumer is not the customer. And I'll break that down.
Okay.
The customer is the one who is making the buying decision, but may not necessarily be the end user. The consumer is the end user, but not necessarily the one who is paying for it. So if you run a veterinary clinic and you treat pets, dogs, cats, and all of that, and you are running a campaign, an ad campaign, a social media ad campaign, your target are not dogs. Your targets are not cats. Your target are the owners of those dogs. The owners of those dogs and cats are the customers, but the pets are the consumers. So if you run a crèche, for example, the crèche is for kids, is for toddlers, most likely. The target audience, the kids there are the consumers. The parents are the customers.
Okay.
And not understanding this is also why you misfire when it comes to your ad spends and all of that, because you don't target the right
specific customers.
Just specific customers. So, and it's very important to know who your ideal customers are. I say to people all the time that the most effective businesses, or rather the most effective marketing, does not only pre-qualify your ideal customers, it also disqualifies those who are not. Am I saying it too much?
Yeah.
Should I repeat myself?
You can repeat yourself again.
The most effective marketing does not only pre-qualify your ideal customers, it also disqualifies the ones that are not.
Yeah, not everybody is your customer.
Everybody. So, and once you have you're running a business and you think everybody's your customer. If you cannot define who your customer really is, it's a big problem in business. So it comes back to the issue of people. It also determines the kind of people you hire. Are you seeing the connection now?
Yes.
So a while back, we were doing an outreach in our church, and it was a small outreach in a very new neighborhood we've never been before. And so we decided to come with some of our teenagers from our teenage church in our headquarters church to that location. Guess the kind of people we attracted? Teenagers. Flooded the whole place. People that you want to attract, right? Whoever you are trying to attract should determine who you want to hire.
Yeah. True.
Because we attract our kind.
True.
Like begets like.
Yes.
That's pretty much the way this thing works. And so any entrepreneur who is going into business must master marketing. So I've moved from people now, must master marketing. One book that comes highly recommended to any entrepreneur, whether you have been in business for decades or you are just looking to start a business, is What Rich People Know and Desperately Keep Secret by Brian Shire.
Wow.
That book, I still think about it every now and again. It's like it's a must-have for any entrepreneur. In the book, in a way, I believe it's going to be answering the question. It said something about. So the book is broken into 4 parts. The first one was focused on you as a person, you as the entrepreneur. You are the most important critical success factor. Anything that must be in that business, it's up to you. So you have to become a better version of yourself. You have to become a superior version of yourself for the business to grow. But beyond you is your people. And that's the second part of that book. Now, I'm not saying in any particular order. I'm just sharing based on how I've implemented and applied the book.
Yes.
And then he talked about marketing. Your marketing is very key. And there's a difference between marketing and sales. Your marketing creates awareness. Because you see, people buy from those they know, like, and trust. Until they know you, they won't like you. They won't have the opportunity to like you. And until they like you, they won't have the opportunity to trust you. And until they trust you, they won't part with their hard-earned funds. So the end game is money. But it starts with people knowing that you exist, liking you, trusting you enough to part with their hard-earned funds. And that's the goal of marketing. Marketing is to make you known, liked, and trusted. So an effective marketing builds in you, in the market, a desire for what you have to offer. But
now, if somebody is thinking now,
yes,
all this you're saying, so person is saying, I want to become wealthy, but I don't want to become an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Is it possible to create wealth without being into entrepreneurship?
Absolutely.
How?
Very possible. So first is, as someone who is not planning to go into entrepreneurship, you are one type of entrepreneur or the other. We have different types of entrepreneur. There are entrepreneurs and there are intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs are like company within the company. They are entrepreneurial employees who are helping other businesses to grow. There are people who, by helping other businesses grow, have become part owners of those businesses. And without necessarily having to start the business, they've been able to bring in their skills, their wealth of experience to help this business grow. That's how most of the corporations we know around the world that have hit the $1 trillion mark, that's how they attained it. They didn't attain it by just the one person. They had the entrepreneur surrounded himself or herself with intrapreneurs with their respective skills.
True.
So such a person can create wealth. And there are people who are so wealthy not because they started a business, but because they belong or they own a part of a business.
Wow.
And you can do that by, by being, by sweat equity, right? Meaning that you are you didn't bring money, but you brought in experience. You brought in, and there are people like that. The other part is you can find businesses that have significant potential. You are able to spot ideas, but you don't have the time, to run the business. Because even if you are running a business, you can't do all businesses.
Yes.
So you can send some money. So your money can do the work for you. And that's why, in order to create what? One of the key things that separates the people who are financially stable from the rest is the fact that they invest in skill development. Because the skill that you possess is what determines the quality of value you bring and the speed at which you deliver it. So skill development is one thing that is missing for most people who are in the financial crisis and financial instability category. So if they must move, apart from mindset, there has to be skill set. And that is one thing that somebody who is not planning to start a business or who doesn't have the business acumen or entrepreneurial inclination should embrace skill development, because it will help you to solve critical problems for businesses.
Everybody must not be an entrepreneur then.
Not at all. Not at all.
What are the top lies about money that people have normalized in our society?
Top lies. Oh my goodness. Everybody who made it stole it. It's a poverty, it is thinking. Every time you see people who are wealthy and the first conclusion is that they stole it. It's something fundamentally wrong. And that's the way a lot of people behave. That's the way a lot of people see those of us who are wealthy. It's like, this guy they know somebody. That's another one. That's another lie.
Yeah.
You must know someone for you.
To
You
make
must
money.
have a godfather somewhere.
Without Godfather, no money.
That's another big lie. Another big lie is that hard work alone can give you the money.
Hard work alone can give you the money.
Yes. You need more than hard work. By the way, my team can tell you, I'm a jackal when it comes to work. We don't stand up, we don't leave it until we finish it. Right? And hardly would you find anybody who is truly successful who is not hardworking. But they needed more than hard work. They needed network. They needed smart work. And those are the other ingredients that is often missing from those who believe that hard work alone will deliver the wealth.
Deliver what?
So I don't know how many I've given you now. So I think we can make two. We can make do with that.
Now, when you started in your business, were there moments you almost felt like giving up?
Oh, absolutely.
How did you overcome that part?
Okay. Thank you for asking that question, because a lot of times people envy the results. They don't know the story.
The story.
Like I said, I was working at an investment banking firm at the time I joined at a point in time. And by the time I left that company to start up here, to pivot into real estate, I just knew that once you are solving critical problems for people, because money is a reward for solving problems for others. Money is a reward for adding value to people's lives. So I knew that money was not going to be a problem. But there's a difference between theory and practical. And we created all sorts of things that were going to solve problems, we're going to meet needs, and then identify which problem to solve. So when we started our business, we started with we were a group of companies from day one, even though we're grouping nothing. I say that to say that we're one of the most confused set of people, frustrated, and thinking back now, I used to wonder. And when I see people behave that way, I laugh. I'm not mocking them. I'm just saying I've been here before and I understand what they're dealing with.
Yes.
Because you think that it's in the busyness. What we had when we started was busyness, not business.
Busyness,
Yes.
not business. That is two different things.
Those are two different things. That was what we had. And one of the things that characterize busyness is that you work from your neck down, not from your head up. When you really have a business, you work neck up. When you are doing business, you work neck down. You are busy, active, very active, but there's no proof, there's no substance.
No substance.
And that's usually what leads to that frustration.
Wow.
That I had for almost giving up. Now, I wasn't even going to give up, because even when we started, we told ourselves we either win or we win. Failure was not an option.
No option.
So, was I frustrated? Yes. Did I contemplate giving up? No, because this has to work. Was it? But was I frustrated? I was frustrated because we resumed the office sometimes 6:30 a.m. We will not leave the office, shared office, borrowed office, so to speak, at that time. Sometimes 12 a.m. Because it was a shared office, we had to go leave up the key to the neighbor so that when other occupants come, they go and pick the key. But there was never a time where, except for weekends, there was never a time where anybody arrived before us or left after us. So we always want to go and pick the key. We always want to go and leave the key. But that's by the way. So you can imagine working that, 7 to 12, 7 to 11 p.m., 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. each day, back to back for months on ending, and you have not little or nothing to show for it. It can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's why I can talk about working neck up and working neck down. Your head has to be correct for your business to be correct. A lot of us were working in the business rather than working on the business. I say to people, and this was the transformation that came for me, because this was how I overcame it. I took time off to go retreat at that time. And there was a budget trip to Johannesburg. And I still remember it very vividly. That was my first trip to Johannesburg. And I took time to just reflect on the business. And this is very important for every entrepreneur. You have to set moments every single year, like 2 or 3 times a year, when you step out of the business to view the business from the perspective of an outsider. That way you're able to maintain an aerial view and you are not caught up in activity, because activity is a killer of sensitivity. So that moment was one of the breakthroughs that we experienced. And that was how we were able to. So anytime I'm feeling stuck, anytime, that still happens from time to time. Every time I'm feeling worn out, every time I'm putting in more than I'm getting, I step out. And again, I don't even need to wait till I'm stuck anymore. I have periods, moments, both as an organization and as a person. As an organization, we have twice a year when we go on our board and management retreats, where we review what we've done, we'll preview the next line of action, and then we get empowered. And then that's how we roll every single year. But aside that, as a person, as the CEO of the company, I also take time out to review personally, what am I doing? What am I doing that I need to stop doing? What is it I need to start doing? What is it I need to continue to do? We do that. And that was exactly what I did then. And 3 important questions came out from that experience. And I love to share that because I know it's going to help someone. Because sometimes you can share 7 steps, 5 steps, people don't remember. But if you tell them their story, people can pick from that. 3 questions I asked myself then. Number 1 was, why did we even start this business? Because like I told you, we're a group of companies from day one. We're doing bulk SMS business, we're selling fuel treatment, we're selling food, we're doing real estate, we're doing travel and tours, even though we're not traveling anywhere. We're just a bunch of confused people. So I asked myself that important question: why did we start this business? I was able to redefine. We had the vision, but it's one thing to have a vision that's just on the wall. It's another one for it to be in your heart.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yes.
And so I redefined the vision, redefined the mission, redefined our core values, redefine our purpose. Why exactly are we in this business? Once that was documented, now all of this was during that retreat, out of frustration. The second question I asked myself is, okay, all these things that we were doing, we're also into training. Can you imagine entrepreneur who is frustrated, training people, training them how to be frustrated or what?
What are you training them from?
So I asked myself, which of the things we're doing right now is central to this purpose of the business? And the third question I asked was, which of the things that we were doing at the time was even giving us our highest result? The shocking outcome. What was central to our purpose was also what was giving us our highest result, even though it was minimal at the time. That was what was giving us our highest result at the time. It was no-brainer. Upon my return, we refocused on what our purpose was, what was central to our purpose, and what was giving us our highest result, and we postponed or even completely abandoned
Abandon the
many
other
other
things.
it will shock you. Within a few months,
Changes.
radical changes. In fact, we outgrew the office we're sharing.
Wow.
And everything changed so rapidly, and that's extremely important. You see, you don't want to do things because others are doing it.
True. Yeah.
And there's a lot of copycats
Exactly.
in our environment. People just copy what this person is doing, copy what that person is doing, and then go and replicate. And like one of my friends would say, he said there's nothing wrong with copying. He said, but just make sure you copy right. Because a lot of times, some of the things you copy, you only copy the front end. You don't know the back end.
True.
And when you copy the front end, you are most likely going to be copying wrongly. So if you don't know the brain behind, the reason, the strategy behind, the end in mind for why this is being done,
Yes,
you really don't have an understanding of what you are really doing when you
Wow.
copy. So those are the things that helped us. We were really, really frustrated. And when I came back, interestingly, I also asked my team, sat them down, I said, okay, what do you think is the reason why I started this business? Everybody said the same thing. What is giving us, what's central to that purpose? What is giving us our highest result? And we aligned. I said, okay, no problem. So this is what we're going to face. And that was it.
What I picked from this is that, many people try to, like you said, group of companies. They just want to answer group of companies, group a lot of things that are empty together. Just to answer group of companies. That can be a derailing factor.
Yeah.
Can stagnate you because you try to do a lot of things at the same time rather than mastering one.
Absolutely.
At what point do you think someone needs to diverge into different kind of
You
things?
mean
Or just
diversify?
diversify into different kind of things.
So later on, I learned another framework that can help you determine, because as entrepreneurs, the way journalists sniff news, that's the way entrepreneurs sniff opportunities. And so we are bombarded constantly with myriad of ideas, not just because people suggested them to us, but because we are sniffing for opportunities. We are opportunities tourists as entrepreneurs. That's what characterizes us. So opportunities come in overall, they come disguised as problems. So what other people consider to be a problem, that's what entrepreneurs see as opportunities. But that doesn't mean that every opportunity or every problem you identify, you are the one sent to solve the problem. And so I learned this framework called viability analysis. And there are about 9 important questions that you need to ask to determine which business or product idea is worth pursuing first. Because you see, all the conglomerates, the group of companies, holding companies that you hear of around the world today, didn't all start at the same time.
Yes, true.
Company A gave birth to company B maybe after 3 years. Company A plus B gave birth to company C. Company A plus B plus C gave birth. And then it could be within the space of 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years, that way. And then they now have a group.
A group, yes.
They all didn't start
At the same time.
Yes. So you need to identify which one has the greatest prospects. And then these 9 questions, you want to check out availability of fund. Availability of fund is not just talking about availability of cash. It's talking about which one is cheapest to start. Most times. All right. Availability of markets. Which one has a growing demand? Because a lot of people start business in declining markets. So which one has growing demand? You want to look for availability of skill. And you rank each of these product or business ideas along a scale of 1 to 5. 1 meaning poor, 5 meaning excellent.
Excellent.
Right? And then when you list all the products, I did a presentation on I think the video is on my YouTube channel, on viability analysis, how to determine which business to start first. Because I realize it's one of the biggest problems. People don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. And that is one of the missing things. So to summarize, availability of, then you want to look at ease of implementation. You also want to consider risk exposure. You want to look at profitability. You want to look at government priority, because government is the highest spender, right, in every economy. And whatever the budget of the year is saying, it gives you an attention of what government is prioritizing. And that can give you an idea. Most successful business owners in the country and around the world, They don't joke with what is the direction, what is priority for government. And then again, finally, you want to look at sixth sense, right? And I mean, what is bubbling inside of your heart? What gives you, peace is the umpire of the soul. You want to know, because something may be good for other people, but may not be necessarily good for you. And that's important as well. Yeah, that one is my addition, because everything can be good on paper, but not be good for you. That's why the sixth sense dimension is very critical.
For you personally, at what point would you say, you came from struggling and then your business is stable now? At what point would you say you had your major breakthrough that changed the course of your career?
That particular story that I just told you.
Yes.
That was when
when everything
changed.
Changed completely. Now,
and we are continuing to scale, because again, there is no business that grows that as the graph of their growth is not straight line. There will be seasons when you plateau. The length of time you plateau, usually, in my opinion, is the seasons when you get distracted, when you lose focus.
Yes.
That's usually the seasons when a business generally plateaus. And sometimes it's also good to plateau so you can gather strength before you build capacity for the next phase. So most times the business plateau because you lost focus, you got distracted. A friend of mine defined distraction in a very comic way. He said distraction is an attraction that draws your attention from your original intention. I'll take it again. Distraction is an attraction that draws your attention from your original intention. And so we were distracted many times and we plateaued at all those moments. Because of whatever level of success you attained, people will be sending you all sorts of proposals. As entrepreneurs, you need to watch out for this. People will bring all sorts of proposals, either they want to do training for you, or whether they want to give one business opportunity and all of those things. And usually it will derail you.
Yes.
Now, the success that attracted them is because of what you focused on. The moment they get you away from that, our business begins to suffer. And it's always important to pay attention to this. So any business opportunity that would demand your time and energy may not be yours at that point. If it will take money and maybe little seasons of attention from time to time, you can embrace it. But if it will take your time and energy, it is one thing you must preserve while you are growing business as entrepreneurs.
Now, in your experiences, I'm sure you have failed many times. Which failure exactly nearly broke you?
You have asked a very, very hard question. Not hard because I don't have the answer. Hard because it is not something I generally like to share in the open. But if this is going to encourage somebody, I will share it. So by the time, even when the business was very small, we never defaulted on salaries and never defaulted on paying our staff. We don't hire people who can't pay. So we don't struggle to pay them.
Yes.
So I don't joke with that. I don't joke with the health of the people who work with me. I don't joke with their well-being. I don't joke. That's very important to me as a person. And I respect most of our team members are my colleagues. I don't call them staff. I'm also a staff of the company anyway. So they are not my staff. We are all staff of the company.
Yes.
And so they are my colleagues. All right, they are my teammates. And so we bootstrapped our business, meaning we literally used creative financing, and as we made money, we recapitalized, and then that was how we grew our business. So we grew organically, basically. And at a point, we had to, we're analyzing some of the visions that we had and the new levels. And we asked ourselves, okay, what have we done with our own resources? And when we looked at the assets we have built and our total exposure, by the way, up to this very moment, our company has never been exposed to any bank loans.
Wow.
Once.
Wow.
Our business, our company, right, has never been exposed to any bank loans. So at that point, of course, we had some private, investors, in the business. So when we looked at our total exposure, both liability and the gap was so wide, which should, I mean, if your total exposure is 5%, for example, less than 5% of all that you have built, you can tell that you really have been shrewd with resources. So when we looked at that and we told ourselves, okay, if we have been this shrewd, then it means we could explore more funds, and then that can help
Boost the business.
And then we can, because again, a lot of people borrow too early. Borrowing money, the best fund in your business is not loan, and it's not investors' money. It's actually customers' money. Yeah, I can tell you that for free. Yeah. Anyways, that's another story for another day. But we then decided that, well, let us create another private, round of, private funds and investments into the business. And we had some massive projects that we wanted to embark upon. Loads and loads of options. Again, funds started coming in. And one mistake we made that we should never have made was that we are into real estate. It was to access short-term funds to fund long-term projects. It was a mismatch of funds. I knew that even from way back from investment banking. But for some strange reason, I thought I was becoming risk-averse by that shared thought. And some of our board members, raised that concern that this long-term project, we want to raise short-term fund. And that was a major problem, because we have always been shrewd, we are still very shrewd. We don't look like what we own. The funds went into those projects, but we were not able to convert those assets into cash as soon as the obligations were falling due.
Yeah.
And the last thing and the worst thing you don't want to happen to you in business is your reputation. You see, adversity is the truest test of integrity. And that adversity, falling short of obligation when they fell due and not being able to meet it, but yet you are reaching assets and cash. That was the definition of crisis I talked about earlier. Broke me.
Wow.
The only thing that didn't cross my mind was suicide. I lost my sleep. I lost appetite. I could not eat. I was depressed. That was when I knew the definition of depression.
Wow.
I was emaciating like HIV patient. It was, and the truth of the matter is, nobody could, I couldn't. How many people would
run to anybody?
Right. Of course, I was. Where else would I be vulnerable with? I was vulnerable with our core team, and I was vulnerable to the board. They say, "This isn't deep. You sure?"
Wow.
And it helped. It helped in a way that, on one of those moments when I was sharing with the board, one of our board members made a statement. He said, "Are you not the one who normally says that you focus on the solution and not the problem? Because whatever you focus on is what magnifies." And that was exactly what played out. And that was when I got healed.
Wow.
Because right there and there, it occurred to me that we've not even taken stock of all that we own and all that we owed. When we assessed what we owned and what we owed, I breathed a sigh of relief. And then we re-strategized in the team. Before then, my head was not correct. Anything that was to be sold, put it for sale.
Wow.
Anything that, just sell it. Just, why? Because if you lose money and you still have your name intact, you can reproduce the money. But if you lose your name and you retain the money, you will lose everything.
Everything at the end of the day, yeah.
So, and the God of second chance, not a Nigerian. And because people are falling to all sort of scams and stuff like that, the natural instinct is that these people this one, it can lead to a lot of ripple effect, and you don't have opportunity to begin to explain to everybody. So we position most of our managers, let us start calling everybody, let us start sending mails. But mails wasn't going to do the work. Let us start. Now, this is the first time I'm going to be sharing this publicly. It's on your program. I'm sharing this for the first time publicly. So I don't know whether the board would even approve of what I'm telling you now.
It's part of your story.
To be honest with you, this is coming definitely from one of my books that should have come, but I delayed it because how would you be releasing Winning in Business when you are owing billions? Do you get?
Yes.
So I just, we delayed the book because we needed to collect it, and of course it's coming out soon. I document everything. You see people who, when you don't have friends until you are in adversity. 3 kinds of people are revealed in moments of adversity. It will reveal you. You don't know yourself. Adversity will reveal you to you. You will know how much capacity you have built. You will know how much intelligence you have. You will know yourself during adversity. Number 2, it will reveal your friends. And I mean your friends. It also reveal your enemies and frenemies.
Wow.
There are people who relate with you just because what they benefit from you, not necessarily because of what they contribute. And let me say this generally, that most of the people who did business with us and had some delays in us paying them because of the liquidity issue and how quickly we're unable to convert those assets to cash were extremely gracious to us. And I'm saying this publicly. I am eternally grateful for people like that. Some people showed us color, but for those who understood through the process, there are people who that season made them know that we are people of integrity. Anything, my people, I told them, we would rather lose money than lose our money. Anything that need to go. Just less. As the money was, as we were selling, be paid. Just be doing it.
How much debt was it then?
Do you want to hear the real figure?
Yes.
I'm not sure I want to put that one out.
Of course, that's part of your story.
It's my story.
Yes.
You
came out from debts of so huge numbers. It's a transformative story.
You know that this video now, all these NRS, all these government
debts you are in. It's not your earnings. You are in debt.
It was over 5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, it was over 5 billion. And I couldn't run to my parents. I couldn't run to my parents-in-law. Even my spouse was not any. My children didn't know anything. They don't know anything till now. Everybody's just there. So, but I looked into my inner circle. My inner circle were the group of people who were my mentors, my coaches, and my team, my core team. That's why till tomorrow, I don't joke with my team. Yeah, because we pulled through. We were all disoriented because it shook us to our marrow. And, it is one thing for someone to be living large off other people's money. It's another thing to have it tied down in different assets, and then you can see the thing, and yet you cannot fulfill obligation.
Yes.
It was obvious that, so if I would do it again, that's why now I'm very, if you like, have 300 billion. Keep your money. Come and buy my product. Right now, I'm still a work in progress, because right now I'm very immune to, again, if it is long term, because what I'm doing is long term. Some of these projects, we've had all sorts of setbacks to get approvals, to get documentations out. In the process of all of these projects, the prices of the project you're executing, skyrocketed 200%, 100%. And then you still have to deliver to the customers and still deliver to the investors in the same economy. So these are some of the things that happened. I could go on and on, but we've come a long, long, long way. What our total exposure now is not even up to 3% anymore.
Wow. What was your relationship with money growing up?
Okay. Growing up, I wouldn't even call us middle class, even though that was how I used to term it at a point in time. My parents were hardworking parents who loved and wanted the very best for their children. And by reason of that love, they sent us to nursery and primary school, private nursery and primary school. I mean, in our own days when we were growing up, that was when you had proliferation of private nursery and primary schools, and they wanted the very best. So, but they weren't able to keep up with even paying the school fees. So occasionally we were sent out of school. So I said that to say that we were not really, I wouldn't say I wouldn't even call us middle class, because I had more memories of hardship. Like, in fact, at a point, I still remember very vividly that we borrowed. Was it borrowed? The house help of our neighbor loaned us 2 kilograms of rice so that we can feed.
Wow.
At least on 2 different occasions. Inena, I still remember her name. Of course, she'll be a big woman to herself now. But I can't even recognize her if I see her today. But if she sees this video, she will know that I'm telling the truth. Okay? So, in terms of my relationship with money, I knew more of scarcity. And the language we heard then was, do you think I'm growing? Do you think I have a money tree behind my backyard?
Yes.
I'm doing my best, all of those type of things. And it used to bother me, because whenever we were sent away from school, I used to think about it then, that what happened to the other kids whose parents paid their school fees? So I had more, in terms of my relationship with money, it was more of scarcity. Not because my parents didn't do well, because really we were still discussing it, some of my siblings and I, that when I look at what their own parents did for them and what they did for us, they outperformed their parents on many levels. So, and that's why I don't judge my parents. Rather, I take good care of them because I believe they went over and beyond for their kids. But if they knew better what I know now, I'm sure that they would never have had to. It's not a prayer request or prayer point to pay school fees. It's planning. It's prioritization. It's you work and then school fees will be due and so and so. Not expecting that some miracle will happen for school fees to be paid. So those are some of the things. And then give back to more children that you can take care of. so many other things. And then having structures, investments. We didn't grow up with our parents telling us savings, investing. No, it was not part of our vocabulary. I learned that when I met my mentor.
If you lost everything today, how would you rebuild from zero?
Number one, I'll rebuild faster and quicker. I'm telling you, I'll rebuild faster. And how will I do that?
Yes.
I will be a broker of deals that high net worth people are looking for.
Broker of deals high net worth people are looking for. Right.
In any of those 3 markets I just told you. You see, a lot of times we confuse passion for what you should do. Passion without income will lead to frustration. So there are many things I'm passionate about that was not producing money, and I gave it everything. Maybe I would have been way richer than this. So it is this passion that I was chasing after. So what we changed for us was to match needs with solution, right? Match problems with solutions. Those were the things and that's what I would do. For example, I'm in the real estate space, and we are in the development space. There are 4 ways you can play as a developer, that you can play in the real estate space. 4 major ways. There are actually 7 of them, but let me mention 4. You can be a regulator, you can be a developer, you can be an investor, and then you can be a realtor or broker. If I were to play in the real estate space today, I'll choose the last one.
The broker. What mistake do you think first-time entrepreneurs repeatedly make?
To put money first. Profits. People come first. Profit comes later. Profit is the consequence. And then over amplifying the value of ideas. Idea is nothing. Solution is everything. Yeah. And until you have tested it, you want a proof of concept. And that's why taking that idea to the market at a low scale, because everything that has a big version also has a small version. Taking that idea to the market and prove it that is solving the problem is when that's after that, that's when you begin to scale. So over analyzing the idea, babysitting the idea is one of the mistakes, and then putting profits before people is what I think is one of the mistakes that first-time entrepreneurs make. And thinking that, like I said earlier about structure, thinking that you need money, you need to have grown big to have structure. No. If you really want, for example, you and I were born as babies, right? But we're born with a skeletal structure.
Yes.
That skeletal structure is what supported our growth till this point. And that's exactly what you must introduce at the very creative. And it is better to implement it at the very beginning when it's still bendable, malleable, and all of that.
Someone can say you should break down on that structure. Break into it more deeper.
So every business that you would ever find, they can give it any name, any nomenclature, but every business you find on the planet Earth will have these five systems, particularly businesses that are really thriving, whether it is mega business, conglomerates, or small business that are thriving, they will have these 5 systems. The first one is value creation system. This is the product development arm of your business. That's the manufacturing factory of your business. That's where you conceptualize ideas and products and services. That's the value creation system. And it's a structure. And then you have the marketing systems. This is the one that generates leads, creates awareness, manufactures demand. You asked a question earlier that one of the mistakes that first-time entrepreneurs make. It is over-focusing on products than focusing on the market. And that's one mistake. A lot of us manufacture supply more than we manufacture demand. And that's what marketing system, an effective marketing system does. Manufactures demand. And then sales system. Sales system is what converts the relationships into cash.
Those are all part of the structures.
It's part of the structure. And you can turn all of these things I've talked about now, you can turn them into departments. And you can break it, you can collapse it into 3. And I'll talk about that shortly. So sales system helps to convert leads, the leads, the relationships, converts it to cash. So all the inquiries, it converts it to cash. And then you have the value delivery system. The value delivery system is what ensures quality assurance. There must be a checklist for the value you promise to deliver. And that checklist becomes the basis of assessing whether or not it has been delivered. Because if you want return customers, because it's a lot cheaper, 10 times cheaper to get existing customer to buy from you again than to get new ones. So your value delivery system is extremely important. And then you have the financial systems. So the financial system essentially houses even your operations, the entire operations, the back-end operations. But fundamentally, the financial systems is designed in such a way that it helps to assess whether everything you did from value creation to marketing, to sales, and to delivery is viable, profitable, and worth repeating. So your financial systems helps you to assess that. And once you have these 5 systems, so you can break these 5 systems into 3. You can put value creation and value delivery together, one department. And then you can put marketing and sales, one department. And then financial systems, all the HR, operations, admin, all of that, it can be under, depending on the kind of business that you do. But fundamentally, this is, so in some organization, you see the marketing, the head of marketing, they call it chief revenue officer. Then you see some organizations, The COO is also the CFO because it's overseeing operations, day-to-day operations. And then the CEO is the chief strategy officer in some organizations. So different nomenclature, but fundamentally, what exactly are they doing? They're really focusing on how to, these are the 5 systems. Once you have these 5 systems in place, yes, just continue to tweak, just continue to engineer, re-engineer it.
Now, if somebody is thinking about sales, like you've mentioned this repeatedly, how do you achieve your sales target in business?
Oh, phenomenal. Incidentally, just yesterday, my business partner and I were still in the office and we're analyzing, we're reviewing something for the next 5 years. And these were the 4 things and we've taught this again and again, and any entrepreneur can take note of this. Number 1, how much money do you really want to make? You see, when we talk strategy is in simple terms, because I don't want us to be bedeviled with all sorts of jargons here and there. Strategy is starting with the end in mind. So I'm doing this because of this, right? So how much money do you want to make as a company? And it's a very important, because the clearer that goal is, the easier it is to achieve. But even in determining that, there's a framework. Because over the years, I've interacted with all sorts of people, and I asked, how much money do you want to make here? Some of my mentees, I asked them, oh, how much money you want to make this year? And we hear things like 30 billion, 40 billion. You know, people just make some bogus. And then you right as they are talking about it, they're already defeated. They don't believe what they are saying.
What they are saying.
So I came up with this framework, and it's a very simple framework. You break down to know how much money you really want to make, you need to get a plain sheet of paper, rule a T line, right? On the left column, put obligation on top. On the right column, put aspirations. So as human beings, we are motivated by pain and we are motivated by pleasure. We are either running away from something or running towards something.
Yeah.
So what we are running away from causes us pain. And that's what forms our obligations. For example, I told you about the debts. And in order to self-service, we're running away from debt. So our head has to be correct. We have to push and push and push, and we are still pushing. Do you understand? What can go wrong? You need to answer that question. What is it that can go wrong if we don't achieve these financial targets? You name them in monetary terms. So you put a figure to it. So if it's a human being, person, you probably need to pay rent. You need to pay school fees. You need to pay for food, transportation, communication, and all that. If it's a business, you pay salaries. If you add debt, you put your debt. You put it there. You see the figure by yourself. Your head will be telling you, how do we clear this thing, right? And then you list all the things that are obligation that if you don't pay. For example, if your debt are interest bearing, whether you know it or not, after a while, without servicing it, it will continue to accumulate and becomes really overwhelming. And that can kill any business, and can kill any human being. So you want to begin from interest bearing to no interest bearing debts. All right. And then you just set all those things, parameters in place. Then on the aspiration side of things, you want to list out what are the things that when it happens, when you achieve this financial target, it will help you to do it and it will bring you a lot of pleasure. That's what you're running towards. So you need both. Because some of us are self-motivated, we are disciplined because we know what's at stake. A lot of people don't have, any goal you set that has no consequence for action or inaction, that goal will never come to fruition. So in determining how much money you really want to make, you must clearly define what will go wrong if I don't achieve this, and what will go right if I achieve it. So what will go right is your aspiration. What will go wrong is the obligation. To release them in monetary terms, put a number to it. When you sum it up, then you have a grand total. All the things you listed out as obligations, all the things you listed out. So your aspiration could be you want to build an head office. Your aspiration could be you want to go international. Your aspirations could be that you want to hire maybe one of the big fours. to be auditing your aspiration could be that you want to be self-sustained, whether there's business or not. And that means you need to have some kind of investments, right, in place. Because just like an individual can become financially free, a business can be free financially.
Yeah, true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that you get to a point where you're no longer working for necessity. You are just working because you enjoy it, because it's bringing impact, right? That is where any person who is starting out should begin to aim for. And so when you sum that up, that gives you an idea of how much money you really want to make. Number 2 is how much sale will fetch that income. So, in other words, how much value are you going to give in exchange for this revenue that wants to come?
Yeah.
You must estimate it. All right. So that's simple and straightforward. You know your cost structure. You know how much to sell to be able to meet XYZ. If you have those frameworks in place, that's how you set it up. The third thing you want to do is how many products do you need to sell to give you that income?
Is it different from the second one?
Yes. Products are conveyors of value. Nobody buys products. Everybody buys what the product does for them. So, but product helps you to quantify what you want to sell. So, if, for example, a plot of land is selling for 100 million in maybe one of our estates, I'm just using that hypothetically. That plot of land, okay, so let's begin with the first one. So the first one is how much money you want to make. Let's say you want to make 100 billion. And then you ask yourself, how much say will fetch us that 100 billion? If to make 100 billion, you need maybe 20% of sales is what helps will give you that income. Then you just divide that. So so let's even use 10%. So that means you need to generate a sale of 1 trillion to get 100 billion. Means you need 1 trillion in sales. Then how many 100 million plots of land do you need to sell to give you 1 trillion that will give you 100 billion?
Oh, wow.
And then finally, the fourth step to achieving your sales target or financial target as a business owner is who need what you are selling? Who is holding your money? That's why I told you earlier that one of the mistakes is to put money first. It's people.
More like defining those people that need nothing you want.
That need it. And then you want to find out who is currently serving the people who need what you are selling to. Those are the two class of people at that level. Because it will make finding them a lot easier. So you find a lot of collaborations around the world today. Pepsi or Coca-Cola is collaborating with McDonald's.
Yes.
Chick-fil-A or Chicken Republic is collaborating with Orlando or ExxonMobil, and the idea is simple. Whoever is coming to fill their tank, right, also need to fill their tummy.
Yes.
And whoever is coming to fill their tummy, so it's like a handshake.
Yes.
Like whoever needs what you are selling would need what I'm selling too. So let's have a handshake. And then it's a brilliant thing. And you find that even on the streets in Lagos. So during traffic, you see the sausage seller trailing the guy selling La Casera.
Yes.
Right? So the guy who is selling sausage or selling La Casera knows that whoever buys sausage
We want to buy this.
will need the La Casera to wash it down. So there's a handshake, and it's something that you have to also embrace in business. We call it strategic partnerships. So where can those people be found? So that then you then position for it.
So people build wealth. They make money every now and again. But the country we're in, sometimes inflation can eat up the money overnight.
Okay.
How do you protect your wealth against inflation?
Fantastic. That's where real estate comes in. And then whether real estate in Nigeria or real estate anywhere else, and then even diversifying your business interests across currencies, across industries, and across geographies is critical. But real estate will be my first bet, because it always adjusts to, of course, there is also the precious metals. Gold from time immemorial has always, outperformed inflation and devaluation. But, we're not much of that in this part of the world. Real estate is the in thing. There are three major reasons people buy land. Because again, when you talk about real estate is land, anything on top of it, including crops, buildings, infrastructure, is real estate, up to the airspace. And then anything below it, water, crude oil, precious metals, sand, whatever is on beneath it, that is real estate. And that's why we say to people that the most valuable asset on planet Earth is Earth in itself. So real estate is one thing that can help hedge. So people buy land for three major reasons. One, they buy to build, whether to build now or build later. People buy land with the intention to keep as a store of value. So real estate helps you to store value and hedge against inflation or devaluation, just like you mentioned. And then we were still discussing it yesterday, my business partner and I, we're saying houses are not going to get cheaper in the future. Real estate is not going to get cheaper in the future. There are places now that are selling in billions. If care is not taken, they'll be selling in trillions. It's just a matter of time. And those places, there are places in Lagos, for example, where the rent that people pay will build them another house 30 minutes, 40, 50, 1 hour away. But they are ignoring those places. And for smart investors, you want to position yourself, ahead of what is coming. Anywhere that is 30 minutes to 1 hour drive from city center is a potential city. And a lot of times people ignore, that place is too far. There's no such thing as far. It's only far compared to where you are coming from. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so the third reason people buy land is they buy land with the intention to sell later to fund projects, either college education of their children, retirement plans, or and all of that, or even business projects. I know people who, because of the assets they owned, they were able to free up capital to start their business, right? Or start their other investments, ventures, So to hedge against inflation because of the rising cost of, it's all over the world. It's not only peculiar to Nigeria. It's all over the world. Everywhere, things are becoming more expensive. It's just that in other parts of the world, it feels like there's still the disparity between income and expenses is almost at par. But in Nigeria, the gap between what people earn and what they have to live with is so wide apart.
Very wide.
So wide apart. So cost of living has risen, but the income has not increased. And no business will increase your salary on account of the cost that has increased. Do you get? So,
Yes.
And which is why we have to put on our thinking cap and start looking for other smart ways, to improve our livelihood. Yeah.
What are the top 3 financial habits you think everyone should be able to develop?
So when you think about habits, it's the powerhouse for any success in life. I said this earlier. Every time people set goals, the reason why most goals don't happen are 2 major reasons, and I've just mentioned 2 major. There are several, but 2 major. One is that there are no consequences for not achieving those goals. There are no consequences for action or inaction. So if they don't achieve the goal, nothing will go wrong. If they don't achieve the goal, nothing will go right. So why should the goal happen?
Why should the goal
So
happen?
that's one. The other reason why most goals don't come to pass is because people don't develop habits, right? Every time you set a goal, you also must develop the habit that helps that goal to come to pass. So for example, you need 1 billion by the end of the year or in 5 years. How much must I be putting aside every month? That's habits. So, and in my book, Financial Freedom Master Guide, I documented 10 habits of the wealthy that the wealthy develop. And I'll mention just 3 since you asked for 3. One is gratitude. You need to develop nothing reconditions the state of your hearts positively like gratitude. You see, we are all energy beings. And all of us are either repelling or attracting. And the type of energy you are emitting or transmitting is what determines what you attract. And gratitude as a habit, as a lifestyle, is what. See, the people who are successful, they have more issues in their lives, but you would hardly know because they maintain a perspective of focusing on what is working in their lives, not what is missing. Most people who worry don't have more problems than the people who don't.
Who don't, yeah.
It's just that they focus on something entirely different. There's a difference between perception and perspective. Perception is what you see. Perspective is how you see it. So most wealthy people, most successful people focus on what is present, not what is missing. They focus on what they have, not what they don't have. If you want to develop this as a habit and as a lifestyle, one practical recommendation is to develop gratitude journal. Just every single day. Today it's become a normal thing. I don't need physical, but it started that way. Write down 5 things you are grateful for. There are many times when I say, I'm grateful for my people. I'm grateful for the gift of people. I'm grateful for the gift of life. Because you can recognize what is missing because you can think. An insane person doesn't know what is missing. He can sleep in the gutter and feels he's on the bed. You can see. That's why you can recognize what is missing. Gift of sight is a blessing, right? You are not on dialysis. And by the way, I'm not in any way trying to undermine the pain that comes with that. And it's not that some things can go wrong, right? Whatever it is that is you have. And guess what? People who are even sick still have something to be grateful for. If you can focus on that, it changes the atmosphere. It changes the energy around.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
That's one. Okay.
Number 2, you want to really create wealth. Sell what people can't do without. Not what you like. Sell what people can't do without. And then number 3 is think and talk abundance.
Think and talk
Think
abundance.
and talk abundance. Words create our world. It's not a cliche. It's not quotable quotes. What you think, what you talk, define what you experience in your life. If you are not pleased with what's happening around you, then you want to check. There's a law called the law of attraction. That law simply states that everything that happens around you is a direct reflection of what is going on inside you. So what you are thinking influences your talk, creates thoughts. Your thoughts creates talk, right? And so they work interchangeably. So I personally teach this I have a program called the End to Own Challenge or End to Own Summit. And one of the things I teach there is some of these things. And I have this affirmation that I've more or less like part of the program. You say after me, you close your eyes and you imagine this thing happening to you, right? You say after me, I am very happy and grateful now that millions of dollars are flowing to me in increasing quantity through multiple sources and on a consistent and monthly basis. I always have more money than I need, and I can't help but attract a lot of money into my life and businesses. So you say it repeatedly, again and again. When you start, you will feel a lot of weights. It will look as though you are trying to pierce through darkness. It will look like you are carrying load. And that's really what it is. You know, it reminded me, a few years ago, I was hosting a boot camp in Sheraton, Lagos. And I was leading them on the language of money. And I told them then, I said, okay, say after me 1 billion, 1 billion, 2 billion, 2 billion, 4 billion, 4 billion. As soon as we hit 10 billion, one guy just screamed, hey, you don't do.
It has crossed
It was like
his
a capacity.
capacity.
It tells you that real wealth is inside out. Once a figure is mentioned and if you cringe, you are not ready for it.
You're not ready.
Once you're uncomfortable with certain numbers,
Yes.
you can't interact with it mentally, emotionally. You can't feel like it is already here.
It's already here.
You are not ready for it yet. That's why some type of money, if it hits some people's account, they will lose sleep.
And it's true, yes. They will lose sleep.
So think and talk abundance. What you think influence what you talk. What you talk also can influence what you're thinking. So sometimes, I don't know if it has ever happened to you, where you're just driving and then somebody just tell you, if this car just enter canal, or this car just enters the ocean. Has it ever happened to you before?
You will just think so.
Those thoughts comes, bouts of, ideas and thoughts just come, negative thoughts.
Yes.
That you were not premeditated, it just comes to you.
Just flash.
The way to counter it is with your talk. So never. So somebody will just think that you are soliloquizing.
Yes.
But you are just countering a thought
that just flew.
That just flew in your mind. In the same way, when somebody says something, it can create a thought that you go and be meditating on your own. Somebody can say something, somebody can write something and will not leave you. One of the experiences I had when I went to South Africa for the first time, I saw a billboard that was written, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That thought did not leave me. I carried it with me. The billboard stayed in Johannesburg, or Tambo International Airport.
Yes.
But it came with me to Lagos. That's how the same thing somebody can write or somebody can say can plant a thought in your mind and can stay with you the rest of your life. And it could be positive, it could be negative. So if you recognize those ones that are impeding your growth, that are sabotaging your progress, you truncate it, you cut them off. That's why the relationship, your association matters. That's why the books and the videos you open yourself up to matters a great deal. Because your eyes and your ears, they're the windows, the door to your heart. And the state of your heart is what determines the state of your life. So you have to be consistent with all of these things. One more thing on this think and talk. This affirmation I just recite to you, I still say it tomorrow. Try it. I recommend that when you're just starting, maybe you do like 25 in the morning, when you first wake up, 25 at night before you retire to bed. After you have done that for a long time, it becomes normal. You see, I recited it without, without notes. That's the way it is. And we do it in our office. We do it even in our church. I teach people, I coach people on these things because that's where it begins from.
People think about money and they said it is how you think about it. Like you mentioned, how you think about money determines how you attract it. And if you're thinking, if you're uncomfortable with some numbers, also it means you're not ready. Also, some think about how your expenses, how you use money determines how you're able to attract that money. So I'm thinking, what habit of someone that shows that this person is scared of money? What habit that you see with someone that shows that, okay, this person is scared of money and cannot be able to attract a particular number of money to yourself?
One thing I know, and I've seen this play out, is I know people who have money cash trapped in their savings. They just want to be seeing the money. Any opportunity that comes that will take that money away, they are scared of it.
And it's true.
And so that is one habit. And, I learned, I've come to discover that this is true. Most people, right? Most people I wanted to see if I can put it in a very smart way. Most people who are corrupt and steal money and all of that really don't know how to make it. In the same way, most people who, when they hit a major rainfall, they just want to stack the money and just want to be taking it little by little. It is largely because they don't know how to make it also. So not only people who stole it, the people who are scared of losing it too, don't know exactly how to make it. And that's why I always say that nothing can be more empowering than knowing exactly what to do whenever you need money. Nothing can be more empowering than that. So if I know how to produce 1 billion, if I know the systems, the science behind generating 1 billion,
yes,
right? And an opportunity comes before me to give, an opportunity comes before me to invest, opportunity comes for me to help somebody else, I won't be scared. A lot of people struggle to give, struggle to invest, struggle to do other things largely because they don't know how to replace it. Now, that's not to subscribe to extravagance or wastefulness. That's not what we're talking about. As a matter of fact, one of the habits of wealthy people is liquidity. Right? Because the more liquid, the more cash you have, the more cash you attract. There's something about knowing you have something somewhere. It does something to your emotions, to your self-esteem. It eliminates worries.
Exactly.
And all of that. And that is really what it takes away. But that is not the key to wealth. That's why I say to people, you don't save as investment. Savings is a bad investment strategy. You save for investment. Two things savings does for you. It helps you to access opportunities, right? And then it helps you to address emergencies. Emergencies are crisis situations that may otherwise throw you off balance. So access opportunities. There are deals, there are distressed deals or distressed sales you'll be able to latch on because you have ready cash. And you may not even have all the money, but you are at least able to make down payments. And we have done many of that because we had that. So liquidity helps, and then being able to understand the science and the art of making money is another course altogether. And it's something I have in my program, the Earn to Own Challenge. Yeah.
If you were to mentor your younger self
Yeah.
right now about money, what would you say?
Oh my goodness. If I'm to mentor my younger self, what would I say? It's quite funny, and it's because that's what I'm already doing with my kids. So you need to have an account, you need to save. So a part of what you earn is yours to give. A part of what you earn is yours to keep. And a part of what you earn is yours to eat. But don't put eating before giving and saving. And that's where people make mistakes. They put the eating, before the giving and savings. And there's nothing left to save and give. And so they keep going around in cycles. So I love it the way Warren Buffett says it. He says, the rich save and invest first and spend whatever is left. But the poor, they spend first and save whatever is left. And I put it to you that if there's anything left, and most of the time there's nothing left at all, so there's nothing to save. So you want to prioritize your giving, you want to prioritize your savings. A part of what you earn is yours to keep. Keeping there is not just even about savings and investing alone. It's also about investing in yourself, personal development. Because again, that is what is missing for a lot of people who are broke. Investing in themselves is one thing that is missing. You are not able to cite opportunity and recognize opportunity because you are not trained for it. So investing in yourself is number one investment, not even investing in real estate, not investing in business, not investing in any venture, but investing in yourself.
Now, if you see entrepreneurs that succeed for past 10, 20 years, and those that disappear within 2 to 5 years, what do you think is the difference?
Waste, spendthrift. Those of us who started without money, our head is correct. Now, I'm not saying that those who started with money cannot be correct. Their head cannot be correct.
That their head too is correct.
But if you didn't come from too much money, and you know that, when you have scarce resources, you tend to be more creative. When there is surplus, when there is so much, you tend to lose your creativity. And so I think waste is one of those things. And then living larger than life. I know the big manism trend and in Nigeria, because everybody respects the big man that has hiring in front and all of those things. Is the type of, we pull clouds, that's the kind of thing we see in Africa, in Nigeria in particular. So if you come in any other type of car, they already size you up and conclude that this one is broke. But that's not always true.
That's not always true.
Right? That's not always true.
Yeah.
And it tells you the kind of culture that we find ourselves and the kind of people that we really are. We don't respect people for who they are. We respect people for what they control what they have. And they respect you for as long as you control it. That's why when you are a governor, you get all sorts of accolades and a lot of hailing, and people are visiting, courtesy visits and all of that. The day you stop being a governor or president, it's over.
Now, when you were talking about your story earlier on, you talked about the fact that quitting has never crossed your mind.
Yeah.
At what point do you think someone should quit? And at what point should the person remain stubborn?
You should quit what is not working.
You said at the point, it was like you were frustrated, but you kept on it. You said, no, quitting was not an option.
Yeah.
So if it's not working, why didn't you quit then at that period when you were frustrated? Why didn't you think that maybe it's not working?
So you remember I told you I asked 3 important questions. If what we were doing was not what we were supposed to do, we will quit that thing and then go and do the one that is working. And I did in terms of defining why we started the business. Once I knew the purpose, and it's very important because when we started the business, we didn't start the business with the intention to even go into real estate or any kind of business. We just started to do a business. Our goal was to just do business. And it was as we progressed and as we reviewed that we decided to focus on what was working. You see, in life, there are always things you need to start doing. And there are things you will need to stop doing. And there are things you will need to continue to do. Wisdom is what will help you to know the difference. So there's always something you will need to quit doing because it's impeding on your progress, right? It may even be a habit. It may be a lifestyle. It can be anything. It can even be a relationship. There are relationships that is hurting your destiny. I saw a video yesterday, and the guy said he advises men to protect their meat. And the meat is, M is money, E is their energy, A is their attention, time is T. So protect those 4 things. He said, because anything that serves this has served your life. So it's the same thing. So there are things you have to quit. There are some lifestyle, there are some relationships, there are some habits you will need to quit. There are some things you will need to quit.
When you're building a business.
When you're building a business, there are things you will need to quit. But it doesn't necessarily mean you quit the business. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay. That means you should quit maybe some things that you're doing and not necessarily the business.
Exactly. There are some things. We quitted selling food. We were doing...
As in literally we're selling food.
We'll go to interlands. There's a market they call Maya Market.
Yes.
It's just between the border of Ogun State and Oyo State. We'll go there, go and buy unripe plantain, unripe banana and all of those things. Bring it to Lagos, and we're doing home delivery. And it was like a very laudable business that we are saving people, we are bringing convenience. But we didn't think of the logistics. Sometimes by the time we bring the plantain, it's already ripe. And we literally have to be begging people to collect buy the thing. So we knew that something was fundamentally wrong. Now, we just wanted to do something. But
from selling plantain to real estate.
So we had to quit. We had to quit selling plantain, selling food. We had to quit selling bulk SMS. At a point, the bulk SMS was only servicing our business. We were not selling to anybody. We were using it to do our business. So we had to quit. When Dangote was to start the refinery, one of the things he said they made as a business case was that they thought about how much of diesel they were consuming themselves. That even if it was only Dangote Industries, their trucks alone that was buying diesel, it was enough business case. They were not even looking at the Nigerian market or African markets. But of course, by the time they did that, they were able to now say, okay, we can scale it. Now it's already negotiating to start in other locations. So it's the same thing. There are things you will need to quit because they are not really helping you. It's not giving you leverage. It's not giving you advantage. And there are things you will need to, start because it's certainly going to help you. But it doesn't necessarily mean you leave business.
In today's Nigeria, with the current economy that we are in now, can an average Nigerian genuinely become wealthy? Is it possible?
To be honest with you, I do not think there's anywhere else in the world. Maybe as a Nigerian, because I'm saying that as a Nigerian, I don't think there's anywhere else in the world where you can make money as fast as in Nigeria.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, to create wealth. You just need a different eyes. You see, eyes that look at many, the ones that see are few. There is nowhere else. I know we have myriad of challenges, and those challenges are actually what presents unique opportunities. And there's a lot you can learn from around the world and then bring here, but you need to domesticate it. You need to use our context to deploy it here. because Nigeria is not a regular country. Some things, I went somewhere in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and is it ice cream factory or something, and they had a space where you can taste ice cream. This was years ago, where you can taste, and then you taste to determine which variants you want to eventually buy. I said, even in Nigeria, this is where people will kill.
And it's true.
They will kill your business
Yes,
before you start. So you can't try that here in Nigeria.
Yes.
So there are different things I've seen. I say, you can't come on. There's a restaurant where with $20 you eat. In fact, it's not even $20. If you come there for lunch, it's a Chinese restaurant, and it's a buffet. You eat all you want, anything you want, less than $20. Anything you want.
Wow.
I said, if you bring it to Nigeria,
Yeah.
you'll kill your business.
This is someone that will fast for 3 days and ready that is your place that you're going to finish.
So, so you have to domesticate it, because Nigeria is very culture. The model. Some models work elsewhere. You can never work here because of our unique culture.
Yes.
The kind of people we are. Yeah. But there's nowhere else, to be honest with you, that give you a lot of money now, like Nigeria.
What industry do you think will create the next generation of millionaires?
The next generation of millionaires in Nigeria or in the world?
Around the world. Yeah, anywhere.
AI is already disrupting everything. So, artificial intelligence, yeah. But in all of these things, let me say this upfront. You should not be scared of AI as a technology. You should be scared of those who know how to use it better than you. And it is going to disrupt literally every sector, including marketing, including the way we do business. So really, all the sectors that already have produced millionaires in the past can still be relevant. It's just that the people who know how to use AI in those industries will outperform those who can't.
If you become a minister of finance tomorrow in this country, what are the top 3 things you will change within the next 90 days?
Number one, I'm not seeking, I need to put it out there. So
yes,
don't make it as an offer to me.
It's a hypothetical question.
No, I know it's an hypothetical question, but it's important for me to say it.
Yes.
We are not, that's not my assignment. We can support the people there.
Yes.
Yeah, so the first thing I will work on is, I know it's finance you mentioned, as a Minister of Finance.
Yes.
I will give attention to the education of small business in Nigeria.
Okay.
All over the world, small businesses employ the highest. If you want to solve unemployment problems, you create a lot more credits and support for small businesses, starting with education and empowerment. True empowerment is not financial. True empowerment is mental, is spiritual, is emotional, is intellectual. Real empowerment. And it will eventually give birth to the financial empowerment, so-called economic empowerment. The other thing is improve the credit systems. And I think there's a lot that's going on right now where people you can't borrow here and go and borrow elsewhere now, because literally everything is connected and tied to your NIN and your BVN. So I think I will improve the credit system and give access to micro loans, micro funding, minimal interest, just to boost that space. This is one thing America has done so well and has helped. Now, even with that, some people still can't see those opportunities even in America. But Nigeria, we can do that. If I'm the Minister of Finance in Nigeria, that's what I'm going to do. The third thing will be exchange programs with other international, with other nations, to go and see how they are doing things and then find exchange programs. You know, in Nigeria, one thing that we do, especially governors, presidents, they go with the people who are successful, the corporates, the big guys. I will run corporates. There's a space for that, right? The people, the cream de la creme in the society. But there's also, we can create a program where there will be an exchange program between those who are helping countries like China, countries like India, to boost their economy I've created such an exchange program between their own Minister of Finance and us here. I think we need to do a lot of that. Yeah, that would be what I would
Okay,
consider.
now in rounding off, I'm thinking if people talk about mindset a lot, mindset determines where you're going.
Yeah.
If you want to break down the mindset shift that can transform someone that is making minimum income like 100,000, 200,000, can transform that person to making millions of naira.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 things you're going to share?
I mentioned it earlier. The company you keep, the books you read, and the environment you plant yourself. The books you read. The books you read now can be audio, can be video program, can be seminar, webinar, all of those things.
Yes.
Right. Now, anybody who is listening to us right now, his mind will shift one way or the other. It will get a thing or two that will help change their outlook to life. The company you keep will impact on your mindset significantly. See, there are environments, there are people you hang around.
Yes.
That you can't talk anyhow.
Yes.
The system, the environment already that relationship forbids stinking thinking. There are certain things you can't say in my presence if you are my friend. Your head has to be correct. Do you get? So, and it's the same thing. There are people I also have in my life that I already know that this environment, this is the way it is. So it helps a great deal. And one thing about the mindset is that once stretched, it can never return to its former size.
Okay.
And so you will never remain the same once your mind shifts. And then the environment. A dear mentor of mine shared this story of years ago that he used to live in Ogba and he used to work in Ikoyi or Via on the island in Lagos. And that each time he drives past, those were maybe early 90s or so. Now, anytime he drove past, he sighted a particular estate, nice neighborhood, serene, calm, and he loved what he saw. He said, so whenever he's returning from work, he would drive into that neighborhood and then sit down in his car, wound down, and then soak in that environment. He said in a couple of months down the line, he was living in that neighborhood.
Wow.
See, there's something so powerful. You see, many of us don't know how powerful we really are. And the assets that are around us, just observing nature itself, soaking in nature. Do you know that walking on your bare foot or feet in a sandy seashore is therapeutic?
Yeah.
It has healing capacity, even on your emotion, just the way you are thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
And just imagine, one time I was at an ocean somewhere in California, in the United States, and it revamped another thought that I had years back of the unlimited opportunities, the unlimited abundance in our world. You can see the start of that ocean, but you can't see the end of that ocean. And so, how much water can you draw from that ocean, for example? It's defined by the containers you bring. So if you and I go to that ocean, and you go with a 10,000 liter truck, and I go with 25 liter, you will get 10,000 liter worth of water, volume of water. I will get 25 liter. What defines what we got is our container. That's exactly the way your mind is. What you get out of life is how far you can dream. How big is your mind? There's more than enough to go around, but your container is what defines the limits and possibilities of our life.
Wow. Now, I want to ask you this rapid fire questions. I need a quick answers from you. What is the biggest lie about money? One biggest lie about money.
Biggest lie about money.
Yes.
That rapid fire is not rapid fire. I hope it's not one. Okay. I think I already mentioned one of them. That the people who have it stole it.
People who have it stole it. What would you ban people from doing financially? If you had to ban people from doing something financially, what would it be?
It's to just keep money idle in the bank.
Don't keep money idle in the bank. People encourage savings.
I encourage saving for investment. If you save, you said it's rapid fire. I want to keep it rapid.
What habits predict financial success within 5 years?
Habits or vehicle?
Anyone.
Okay. The vehicle that will guarantee your success in 5 years. Whether you start a business or you invest in a business or you invest in real estate, buy a business or buy into a business or start a business. Business is the fastest way to make money anytime, any day. And then whatever money you make there, put it in other asset classes that can perpetuate it for you.
If your grandchildren are to watch this video in 50 years' time, what's one thing would you hope they never forget?
Investing in yourself is the biggest and the most important investment you would ever make in your life.
What's the worst financial advice Nigerians celebrate?
What's financial advice?
Yes.
That the man with car is better than the one that is walking.
But realistically, it's not better.
It's not. There are many struggling people who are driving cars. It's the car that is driving them, and not the other way around.
Seriously. Which profession do people overestimate financially?
All the ones that has prefix before the name. Architect, engineer, doctor, professor. That's not guarantee for financial success.
Seriously?
Not at all.
Which opportunity is everyone sleeping on?
Connecting buyer to seller.
Connecting buyer
Yes.
to seller. What financial rule do you refuse to break?
Give in generosity.
Give in generosity.
Generosity is the same thing as giving. Giving is living. Generosity is a rule I don't break. Because you see, I don't know if I can answer, I can respond
Okay,
to this.
let's respond to you.
You see, life would happen to all of us, but life does not treat us the same way. The degree to which you are generous to life will determine how well, it will determine whether you will even survive any adversity. It will determine how quickly you will survive. And whether you ever bounce back, it will determine it. Generosity is a rule of life. Show me anyone who ever had a downtime and bounced back who was not generous. None.
If you don't have, how do you become generous?
That nobody is too poor to give. You can give time, you can give talent, you can give treasure. If you don't have treasure, give time. If you don't have time, give talents. Everybody has something to give.
Wow. What belief made you the most money?
I can never be poor. Can never. I can't even think it. You can't attract abundance with scarcity mentality. I can't think lack. It's not possible. Everything that could have happened to force me to think of scarcity,
It's not possible.
I've damaged it. So I can't think, so I can never be poor. It's too late even to be poor. And I'm not saying it on a material dimension. Yeah.
If you could write Nigeria's financial education curriculum, what would be in lesson number 1?
Personal transformation is the key to national transformation.
Personal transformation is the key to national transformation. Is Nigeria poor or badly managed?
Badly managed.
Badly.
We are one of the most prosperous, but we're badly managed.
Finally, what is it you'd like to say? Or maybe I didn't ask you.
You have asked too many questions. I can't even remember the ones I didn't know you don't answer or ask. Well, there are planning your life. When I was much younger, I used to hear great men, women say things like they had a 30-year plan, 50-year plan. It used to intrigue me. And it used to look like a mystery. And somewhere along the line, I cracked the code. By the time I was age 30, I set a 30-year plan based on some of the things I discovered. And it's now a book. It's a course and it's a book. But in that book, I created 6 compartments of your life that you need to plan for. The first one is your spiritual health. That talks about your relationship with your creator, and it's the vertical relationship, and it's the core of everything. Because you are a spirit, you have a soul, you live in the body. Number 2 compartment of your life you need to plan for is your mental, emotional, and intellectual health. That talks about your relationship with yourself. And it's also very significant, very important, because the tanker that supplies fuel also requires fuel itself. So you need to be mentally stable, emotionally stable, and put together. The 3rd compartment of your life is your physical health, and you need to plan for that. You need to, the trinity of health is rest, food, and exercise. So you want to take good care of your body, but that talks about relationship with your body. Now, these first 3 things compartment I just talked about describes you. And it is the quality of you, the healthy you or unhealthy you is what now goes into your relationship, which is the 4th compartment. So the healthier you get, the better your relationships will be. So the 4th compartment of your life is your relational health. That talks about your relationship with people, friends, family, and foes. Whether you know it or not, whether you are good or bad, every one of us have enemies. And you need to know how to manage that. And the quality of that relationship then determines this 5th compartment, which is your business, career, and ministry health, depending on whether you are a religious person or not. And that talks about your source of income and impact. And most people will make so much money and make so much impact. It's actually the fact that they've invested in themselves, the first 3 compartments, that impacted on the quality of their relationships and ultimately determined the level of impact and income they make. And most of the people I've seen around the world want to make a lot of money. And that brings us to the financial health, which is the last one. But if you don't do the first, if you don't take care of the first 5 compartments, the 6th one will suffer. That talks about your relationship with money. If you want to get it right with money, get it right with these other first 5, and it will be well with you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Now, this book.
Yeah.
How many books have you written?
I've written 14 books now.
14.
But we've only published 8 of them. And this one was co-authored by myself and my business partner, Akpolu. And then this book is a must-have Financial Freedom Master Guide.
Financial Freedom Master Guide. What's the core of this book?
So everything I've shared here. So there's what we call the triangle of life. You need to become, being, then doing, and achieving. People are not achieving wealth because they are not doing what they are supposed to do. And people are not doing because they have not yet become. So the being part has to do with mindsets. The doing part has to do with behavioral habits. I often say to people that a dog doesn't require rehearsal to bark. It's in nature.
Yes.
So, and that's what being is about. So you want to become a superior version of yourself to be able to attain the level of success, to be able to do what you are supposed to do. Right?
That's what this book
is centered around. And then I exposed the 5 levels to financial freedom, right? The financial crisis. I broke it down there. And then what are the things you need to become? How do you become? The first part focused on that. And then the second part focused on what must you do to create wealth. And then how do you then achieve and even retain the wealth?
What about this one? Beyond land and houses.
So everything real estate. If you have ever invested in real estate, both in Nigeria and in the United States, that's what the book is premised upon. So you want to do well with your real estate adventure. So, real estate is a vehicle. For us in our organization, for example, we didn't go into real estate we didn't go into real estate because everybody's doing real estate. We went into real estate because we found it to be a veritable tool to create and retain wealth. So, and we provided this to answer most of the questions that people have. A lot of people have been scammed, a lot of issues in the industry, and there have been a lot of challenges as well. So we wanted to address some of those challenges and answer those questions head on. basically to educate people so that they can make informed
Decision.
decisions when it comes to it and not be misled or misguided.
How can people get the books?
All right, so just send OC books, send it to 0708797041
As a text.
as a text or WhatsApp, yeah. Or you can send to the US WhatsApp line also, +1 47070844107. Once we send OC books, OC is Oladipupo Clement.
Okay.
The short form of Oladipupo Clement. So once we do that, they'll share with you the link. The books are more expensive on Amazon. Both the books are more expensive on Amazon. So, but if you can afford it, go on Amazon. Go and pay for the price. But if you want to get it cheaper and it will be delivered to you wherever you are in the world, just send OC books to these numbers.
Okay. This one, the fourth is by Olumide.
Yeah, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. That's my mentor. And again, I have a program called the Earn to Own Challenge.
Okay.
The Earn to Own Challenge is premised on this book, this particular book here. And
this one here, this one.
Yes, the version of you that starts that program will not be the version of you that will finish the 6th day. If you're an entrepreneur, a professional, a career person, you're looking to create wealth the legitimate way, I recommend you attend that program. It comes with money back guarantee. If you finish the program, you feel it was a complete waste of your money, we'll refund your money. I'm not doing any of these things anymore because of money. I'm doing it because of impact. And that's what I would recommend anybody should take advantage of.
Olumide.
It's Oladipupo
Clement. Thank you for this highly essential session.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to.
My delight to be here as well.
Take from your well of wisdom.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So guys, thank my guest, Oladipupo Clement.
Yes. It means wealth be multiplied.
Wealth be multiplied.
That's what
you're actually living your name. Yeah. Wealth be multiplied. Yeah. And you're multiplying it. If people want to follow you on social media, how can they reach out?
Oladipupo Clement on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. And then on LinkedIn is Oladipupo Clement. On YouTube also is at Oladipupo Clement.
At Oladipupo Clement.
Yeah. No, not Oladipupo Clement. Oladipupo Clement.
Okay, Clem.
Yes, that's what you find. Yeah.
So guys, follow him on all social media platforms. Thank you for watching. If you got value from this, share it with people who will find this valuable. I remain your very host, Benzik, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.